Hi, I'm Michael. So I recently turned 33, which I have mixed feelings about, but I wanted to do something to commemorate it, which I've seen a lot of other skaters do, albeit on kind of more milestone birthdays usually. So I set myself the challenge of landing 33 tricks with a focus on transition skating. And I compiled a list, which I'll show now in some fancy layout thing. It's the most planned out I've ever had a skate session be. I usually just kind of wing it. I don't really plan lines out ahead or anything. I even color coded it. I don't know what the crossover is for skaters and XL nerds, but I used some lovely conditional formatting, and I ordered it based on the difficulty for me to land first try and the kind of crowd pleaser aspect of it. Just listing the tricks itself was actually quite fun because it made me realise there's quite a lot of tricks I don't tend to do every session, whether it's like some fun recent learns or ones that I've just kind of forgotten about. And I also wanted to kind of mix it up between hand plants, foot plants, coping dancing, and kind of party tricks. I also didn't want to do any kind of basic transition. You know, I still wanted to challenge myself. Unfortunately, because I'm born in February, the weather outside is awful. I think it's rained every single day this year so far. So I had to do the challenge inside. So I went to Hop King, which is a skate park and bar near London Bridge. And it's really great. I usually go kind of once a fortnight. There's a really lovely community there. So when I arrived at Hop, it was a lot busier of a session than I had expected. I went on a Sunday afternoon because I kind of was hoping it would be quite quiet to film everything. And so I kind of felt immediately anxious about filming just because you don't want to get in people's way, and it's a little bit cringy to be filming yourself so much. But there were a few familiar faces there, which is great. I really like that you can kind of just turn up without prior planning and you will bump into someone you know. See, I was a bit nervous at first to actually start filming, but I pushed myself, and once people started noticing the list and we kind of discussed the idea around it, everyone was really supportive, and yeah, it turned into a really fun session. I didn't realise quite how much of a challenge it would be. Not just the physical toll, but also having to remember 3 or 4 tricks for each line and kind of planning on the fly between each run. So I was trying to do 2 kind of more straightforward tricks and then push myself on the 3rd, and if I land that 4th trick. But yeah, anyway, I'll get onto it and then I'll come back at the end. Enjoy!
Sorry, bro!
So, some key takeaways. This was definitely the most focused session I've ever had, but it was also the most mentally and physically taxing. I was completely wrecked the next day and subsequently got ill, which you can kind of still hear a bit. But all in all, I did really enjoy the challenge. I'm not sure that I kind of got the same satisfaction after landing every trick that I would do in a normal session, because I was kind of thinking of what the next trick was going to be. So maybe there's some lesson there about like living in the moment or something, I don't know. I've already done one kind of cringy TED Talk video, this isn't going to be another. My other main takeaway is that I had forgotten that I'd added some kind of safety tricks in there. So I think the original list was about 40 rather than 33, just in case there were ones that I just couldn't land. And on the night, there were a couple of tricks that just happened and I was like, cool, I'll include those. So yeah, slightly more than 33 by accident, but that's cool too. I'm kind of set for a few years now and I'll never have to do this challenge again. Cool. Right, see ya.